is definitely interested or like a little bit flirtatious. I do feel there's physical attraction, but I think that's kind of dwarfed by the fact that there is, um, I want to say it's more of like an intellectual connection. Like these two individuals are very interested in pursuing education in the same like subcategory, chemistry or literature, you know? There is this deep connection, and yet there's also an acknowledgement that there's too much to lose if these two really do entertain a romantic connection. And with the I have too much to lose, I gotta be honest, I feel like this is somebody who could lose their job if they pursue this romantic connection. So it could be with a coworker, probably a direct report, somebody who relies on them to do like performance reviews and whatnot. Not a good look. So let us call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. You can find that in the description box, along with more information on how to become a member, as well as how to find one of my candles on Etsy. All right, let's dive in. I think we will start with the Pulp Tarot. What else do we have? Page of Pentacles in the reverse, King of Wands, Seven of Swords, Death in the reverse. Yeah, so I don't feel like I can invest this or in this. Page of Pentacles is in the reverse, right? It looks like something I would enjoy, or man, I would really like to get to know you better, but I just cannot afford to lose my job, or I cannot afford to lose my license. Whatever their fear is, I do think it's based in reality. They could literally have some negative consequences for pursuing this relationship. Maybe for some of you, this is about a social community. If I were to date that person after they had been dating, I don't know, my cousin, my best friend, my boss, then it could get a little bit difficult, right? Hello, Constantine. How are you doing? Hello, it's me. What's up? So I don't really like seeing the Seven of Swords, but it makes sense because we have someone who has felt like they have to keep it under wraps, that they have an interest in this person. I know there'd be people that would be upset with me, and I just want to avoid getting fired, or I want to avoid the consequences that I know are very real if I were to pursue this person. Hello, Bronk. How are you doing? Hello, Ronaldo. What else do we have? Three of Cups, Seven of Wands in the reverse, Two of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. If someone were to catch me with you, or if someone were to find out that the two of us were hanging out in like a hotel room, or we were, I don't know, at the bar down in the town center, then I would have some unhappy conversations. People would be glaring at me, or I would be getting some not so great communications. So I don't want to be in that vulnerable space. I don't want to be risking all of that. So I have to choose what, would guarantee stability or would help me avoid that fallout or that problem. I like you, but I can't do it. What else? Nine of Wands, Eight of Wands in the reverse, Wheel of Fortune. So I have to stop talking to you. You have to stop, looking for me or talking about me. We can't hang out. We can't share our favorite songs with each other. This is someone who says we cannot communicate, we cannot connect the way that we have been. I'm choosing to focus on what's real in my life. I have to make sure I don't lose my job, or I have to make sure that I don't offend these folks in my social circle. Hello, Tango. Hello, Urban Walker. How are you doing? Likewise. Justice. Six of Cups in the reverse. The Tower in the reverse. Ten of Cups. So there could be issues in this person's past that they've worked diligently to overcome. You know, it wasn't easy for me to finish my degree or get my certification or get my license or get this job. And I had to work really hard to get these things in my life figured out. If I were to lose all of that just because I think that you're hot, that would be unfortunate. So I have to be honest with myself about what makes sense and who I should have in my inner circle or who I should even consider appropriate to date, and it can't be you. But there's still emotion here. So I feel like it's prone to a few moments of, but I still want to. I know I shouldn't do this thing, but I still want to. So that could be a problem for them. Just a little bit. We're going to go with the Beginner's Tarot. What else do we have? Hello, Lemonade. What's up? What else do we have? Devil in the reverse, Ace of Swords in the reverse, and the Knight of Wands in the reverse. I'm not convinced this person completely abstained from what they think is so detrimental to their life. I feel like this is more so like, I gave in to temptation once. I cannot do that again. Because there's anxiety here, right? It's like, if this were to get out, or if people were to know that I was, you know, dating my boss, their job would probably be at risk, right? We have the Knight of Wands in the reverse, and this is about like knocking boots, bumping uglies, horizontal mambo. Y'all got any other fun ones for me? Hello, what's up, Ruby? So, Empress and the Magician. This, we're going to call them the Emperor. Heavy on the Aries energy, by the way, because they also came out as the King of Wands. This is someone who's saying, I have to, like, be honest with myself about what the real risk here is and how silly it is for me to be willing to take that risk, because it's really not worth it. So they, I guess, decide to stand on business after they were already not. So it's like, whoops, can't do that again. Okay, we gotta like straighten it up a little bit. Could also be that this is with that Ten of Cups. We could have somebody who is like, both people are in a relationship, but because of maybe marrying into the same family or working at the same place, both people are potentially going to lose their established relationship if they pursue something physical with each other. Page of Cups in the reverse, Four of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands in the reverse. Okay. I can't do this anymore. I know, you know, that like 11 minutes was great. It was great. I'll never forget it. It was wonderful. It was super hot. But we cannot do it again, is their thought process. It's like, man, we got to keep it to ourselves. We cannot talk about it. We cannot pursue anything else. And the Page of Wands is in the reverse because it's like secret, and also I gave in to temptation when I shouldn't have. But now I'm not going to do that anymore. Okay. Well, is that like enough to avoid, well, let's go with this, some issues? Or are they still going to have some sort of loss here, you know? What else do we have? Okay. So we have the whip. We haven't seen that one in a while. We have the fish, which talks about good news. And we have the cross, which talks about an ego death or a dark night of the soul. Maybe this is someone who had been flirtatious with a third party, and then they end up going through something. It could be good news, it could be a difficult situation, but it's like, oh, this is really making me feel like I can't like go back on that promise, or I can't cheat on that person. But I would just say this is someone who has initially made a mistake, even if it's just like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have kissed you. Doesn't necessarily mean that they went around all the bases, right? But we have someone who's thinking about what they really prioritize in their life, and it's pushed them to be more, I guess, cautious. Now, if you're new to my channel, this is the whip card, and there are 4 of them in my collection. And if I were to avoid telling the joke that goes along with this card, I would probably have some angry people. All right, are you ready? The whip. No, no, not the whip. The whip. No, no, please, not the whip. The whip. No, no, please, anything but the whip. Anything? The whip. So that is. Yes, we do have an emoji for it too for the members. Hello, Ralph. How's it going? What else do we have? So this is that punishment that they fear, right? Now, this card can also talk about kinky, like your preferences, right? So that could play into this as well, because we probably have someone who is curious or like interested in some sort of physical intimacy, but I don't think they feel like they would be able to avoid consequences if they went that far. So again, I'm worried about what I could potentially lose if I really gave in to the temptation to be with you. So instead, I'm just trying to survive on morsels of attention. Maybe it's just an emotional affair. Maybe it's just, you know, some glances. But this letter would suggest that there is something like text messages or DMs or maybe even like a voicemail that could be problematic for the emperor, or sorry, the magician. Let's see. This is the tarot of the cat people. Hello, Joanna. How are you doing? Not too much in this reading. This is saying probably, though, that there could be someone who could lose their job if they give in to temptation here. But this is more so about physical intimacy choices. So we have the Tower, the Hanged Man, and the Four of Swords. Uh-oh. It's like the determination to do the right thing initially is quite strong. And it's like, I know that would be fun, or like I'm super attracted to you, but I really just like I can't risk that, right? And then a little bit of loneliness sets in, or somebody has a little bit more free time than they normally do. And with this hanged man, it's like, could I maybe get away with it? Or do I need to stay to myself? If I went back to that person or flirted with them again, would I be able to avoid consequences? That's what they're thinking. Temperance. 5 of Wands in the reverse. Okay, 4 of Wands. I'll feel better if I don't have to worry about somebody looking into what I've been doing or who I've been doing. I would like to be able to sleep at night and not have to worry about whether or not my job is at risk, or whether or not I'm going to miss out on, the promotion I'm supposed to get, or if my relationship's going to end. Hey, Ronnie, please call me Carmen. What else do we have? The Magician in the reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah. This is only a temporary, I have too much to lose, leave me alone, I can't talk to you. And then this person's like will to avoid this problem slowly slips away. And they're like, maybe I could kind of like revisit that just a little bit. Nobody would know, right? Hello, MTM, how are you doing? The Hermit, the High Priestess, and the Wheel of Fortune, all major arcana. Major arcana, easy for me to say. They changed their mind again. You know, oh, it was just a kiss, no big deal. But like, if I pull myself back from this, I can avoid serious consequences. And I know that, I don't want to lose my marriage, or I don't want to lose my job. So this is the right thing for me to do. And then after that hermit energy, we have someone who comes back around and says, maybe we could keep it secret. Maybe there's a way we could make this work and no one would know, right? Right? We could do that. So why is this person giving in? Why are they changing their mind? After they decided to walk away. They run into each other unexpectedly. And it's like, oh, hi there. Long time no see. Would you like to go skinny dipping? They're like, oh, well, clearly this is just like the universe telling us to try again, right? I don't know. Or this person that you rejected is like stalking you and obsessed. Maybe that's it. Ace of Wands, Knight of Cups in the reverse, 10 of Wands in the reverse. I missed you. I feel overwhelmed. I don't like that there's like no opportunity to see you. So maybe I will engineer running into you in, the grocery store or the library or whatever. And then maybe I can convince you to change your mind. Danger. This is the, hold on, it's there somewhere. Romantic Lenormand. Hello, how's it going, hopeful? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, hopeful, we can try to combat that by making sure that we don't let go of our morals, right? We cannot police everybody else's morals, but we can lead by example. But yeah, it looks to me like this person had made the right choice. Oh, I felt attracted. I know I shouldn't try anything with that coworker of mine that could cause some issues. So I'll focus elsewhere. I'll make sure that, Everybody sees that I'm focused elsewhere and it'll be fine. But then that person that they've been hoping to forget, and one they're very attracted to but know that they shouldn't be, it's like there's some event or some opportunity. It's like a celebration or happy news. Maybe somebody is getting a new job or celebrating a wedding or an anniversary, but there is an event and these two run into each other and it's like, oh, hello. Yes, I still want you. And one person seems to have a much more developed sense of propriety. It's like, okay, maybe I should do that, you know? The other one's like hoping to convince them to change their mind. Hello, Jamike. How are you doing? Hello, Lotus. What's up? Hello, Carla. What else? Three of Swords, Seven of Cups in the reverse, Two of Wands. So even though it hurts or broke my heart to be honest with myself about how much I had to lose and how necessary it was for me to pull back from that connection and focus elsewhere, sometimes you can't control those thoughts. So I feel like this is someone who still had some obsessive thoughts even after these two were in no contact. And that's part of the problem. It's like if you were to go through a breakup and you delete all the pictures or all the messages, you block this person on all the platforms, and you know, you busy yourself with activities that matter to you and seeing people that you care about, you're going to do probably a better job of letting go of that previous relationship and healing. Instead, we have someone who seems to have been like kind of, you know, like wrapping themselves up in the past connection with this person in order to deal with not being able to be with them. So that strength card's in the reverse because it's like instead of taking that opportunity to focus on yourself or maybe even like meet somebody that you're supposed to or like you're okay to date, or oh, I don't know, like repairing things with the person that you're in a relationship with but you seem to be okay with stepping out on. It's like this person just left that desire there. And so when they run into this person, it's like, oh, well, I still want that person. I still love that person. King of Swords and Page of Wands. And as a result, a conversation happens. It's easy to like forget you or avoid thinking about you when you're out of sight, out of mind. But when you're, you know, in my face or I see you, then it's like, I can't like stay away. Hello, James. How's it going? Hello, Capo. How you doing? Queen of Pentacles, Judgment, and the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Uh-oh. Oh no. If only they had stuck to their decision to not pursue something with this person. They go back on their word, and now we have the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, which to me is saying someone might actually lose their job. So you feel like, you know, maybe it's okay since you run into this person, nothing to worry about. And that's when the problem actually happens. That's when people are like, wait, were you just making out with your sister-in-law? Were you just dating? Like, were you just out there snuggling with the person who calls you boss? There's a witness or someone who realizes, okay, so I know what's going on between those two, and I'm pretty sure that that's not supposed to be happening between those two. So, yeah, we'll go with the Kipper. I'm guessing there's some sort of, like, consequence here. Hello, Mira. How are you doing? Hello, Hope. Hello, Carrie. Hello, Caitlin. It's going well. How about you? What else do we have? Bad health, house, child. I don't like that. Okay. So this is that new beginning, right? That Ace of Wands card. So we had ended things, we had stopped talking. I felt like I had mostly been able to deal with it, but I kept thinking about you. But I kept like reading over the messages that we had or like daydreaming about you. And so when I run into you, maybe at like a hospital, maybe at a funeral, then I can't deny the fact that what I really want is to be like, you know, canoodling, making out. Yes, it is. Thank you, Caitlin. That's so sweet of you. So we have the change card, adjudication, and official person. So I moved away from what I thought was a risky connection with you. We were no contact for a long time. Then we run into each other and I changed my mind. And I'm like, you know what? I just can't resist you. Even though this could be some bad press for me or people have some expectations of me, not trying to date someone who's literally like reporting to me. I don't have any self-control. I'm sorry. It's too hot. I think they're going to regret that. What do we want? We'll go with the signs of the times. What else do we have? Hello, April. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that that's a somewhat common thing, Caitlin. When I was getting, like, I did like I don't know, like 3 months of research. Y'all probably think I'm crazy if I tell you this, but literally for 3 months, I just watched a ton of tarot readers on YouTube before I launched my channel because I really wanted to make sure that I considered all of the elements that were important to me in terms of like, what do I want my like set to look like? Or should I include my face and the cards or just one of the two, right? When I did that, I found a lot of people, unfortunately, that didn't seem to take it very seriously. Or one of the more common things for me was I saw a lot of tarot readers that were just reading for themselves and posting those readings. Like you kind of tell that they were like, "Oh, is that what he said? Really?" You know? And it's like, are you reading for other people or? But thank you. I appreciate that. There are some good ones out there, though. April, we're at 28 minutes. So just like the tail end. I agree with that, hopeful. And I hope that wasn't too disparaging. There are some awesome people out there as well. Patience, yield. Oh, I didn't get this one. Enlightenment, lotus flower, and heart, love. See if this magician had been patient with the situation going on in their life. I think they would have found the partner that they sought, or they would have been able to reconcile or improve upon the relationship that they felt kind of distant from. But instead, they fall into kind of like a cheap way of dealing with their frustration. It's like, well, if this isn't working well for me, then I'm going to go flirt with someone else. And if you're still in a relationship and you've decided that it's insurmountable, whatever the problems are in that relationship, then just end that relationship and then you can go be with somebody else, right? Not always that easy. Maybe they were frustrated because they needed to be, living with this person in order to be able to financially make it. But after deciding to avoid it, they end up taking that choice and risking that relationship anyways, or that job anyways. We've got the yin yang. And I feel like that's coming through because this is someone who felt like, maybe they'd be able to find a way to navigate this without having any consequences. But this balance seems to be implying that someone notices this person after being kind of even keeled and focused. Their behavior changes when they give into this temptation. All right. Let's see. This is the Green Witch Oracle. Oh, don't you worry, Caitlin. We all have to do that every once in a while. Truth be told, I have not watched any tarot readings for weeks, maybe longer than that, honestly. I think it's healthy to go in little phases, but the ones that I tended to be a little bit more connected to were the ones that had a pretty dynamic collective, you know? Oh, I hope so. I believe in you, Hope. Hello, Hooks. What's up? Buds. New beginnings and expansion. So because they run into each other, the magician is like, well, I guess I can't avoid my temptation anymore. I guess we should maybe just like give in. Winter, an ending, recharging, reflection. But that temptation that they give into, it ends up ending their other relationship. An ending, right? I do feel like this is someone cheating on an older person with a younger person. And I do feel like this is somebody that either people are already aware there was some kind of like, probably a little bit inappropriate communication happening with these two. Maybe they were like in-laws, you know, maybe they were coworkers, but people noticed there was some kind of questionable behavior between the two of them. And maybe they were able to kind of like minimize it or make it seem like it's really not that big of a deal. But when these two run into each other, then that's when things really escalate and they can't hide anymore. Community, cooperation, sweetness for the B. And Snow says rest and contemplation. So because this reunion of sorts, they run into each other in person, right? Happens in public. There are other people that notice this shift or this person changing their mind on whether or not to pursue the individual they know they should probably not be pursuing. Aw, thank you, Mira. Hello, Darnell. How are you doing? Oh no, I've been there before, Darnell, as someone who makes candles. So I can't get too mad at you for that now, can I? What else do we have? This is the Path of Shadows, by the way. It's my favorite card from this, actually. The Banshee. Carmen, why is that your favorite card? Because every time I see it, I hear... Was it Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures? I always mix them up. The dude who says, "Show yourself, Banshee!" And yes, I say that every time this card comes out, and if you're sick of it, that's okay. But here's the Banshee card. And it says, "All I could hear was a warning scream. Ignoring the signs won't make me free." So they knew it was inadvisable. That's why they had gone no contact for so long. But they run into this person and they ignore that warning, right? They're like, "Oh, but it looks so much fun." Story, observatory. Sorry, I have to say it that way. Observatory. It's not as fun, right? Observatory. A little piece in a cosmic puzzle. Universe only reveals its secret if you dare to dance in the starry dazzle. This could be someone who decides, life is short, I'm going to do what I want, especially if this is at a funeral. This could be someone who's like, well, this person's like 2 years older than me and they just like croaked, so maybe I should be like taking full advantage of the opportunities that come my way. I don't know if I would agree with that if we're talking about cheating. Actually, I know I wouldn't. Hello, Melissa. How we doing? What's coming up this weekend? I've added that for you. Thank you. And then we have the Necromancer card. Amidst the whispers of the dead, where mysteries are spread, what should have been gone still here remains. You should have deleted the messages. You should have addressed the fact that you were still daydreaming or fantasizing about this coworker or, I don't know, like brother-in-law or whatever it is, but they didn't. they stoked the flames, right? They were like, I still think they're hot. If I were to run into them, what would I do? And then they run into them and it's like, well, I can't not, you know? They're too hot. Hello, Key Controller. How's it going? Hello, April. Oop, wrong place. All right. I'm just be patient with me, Melissa. I'm just gonna pull a few cards from What's the News, and then we'll dive into your question. Looks like you got confused, Jim. Are you saying hello to yourself? I will block you completely if you come back in here with that immature, disrespectful talk, okay? Okay, Jim? What else do we have? Ghost. No closure, cowardice. Oh, look, it's calling you out, Jim. Disappearing act. Yeah, you did that too. And sipping. Nosy, spreading rumors, and gossiping. Oh no. I do feel like it's the cowardice card, right? Because we had somebody who had made the right decision. They were going to, listen to their morals or maybe even like the rules of their employer, right? Um, Rules of engagement. But then they gave in to temptation. They realize they get caught because there is a witness here, someone who walks in on them or someone who sees their conversation. And I believe this magician is like, I don't know what to do with this, so I'm just going to run away. I'm just going to go sit in like a parking lot of a big box store. No one will find me and I'll figure out something. But there's gossip and people talking about what has happened. And I do believe this means this individual who is worried about what they had to lose, they do end up losing that. So if only they had stuck with their original decision and not, gone down that path to revisit that attraction they knew was not a good idea. Because now people are talking about what's been going on and looking for more information to confirm what really happened. Now everybody's realizing, oh, this person was totally like banging their direct report. That's not cool. Oh, and they gave them a promotion too. I feel like that's illegal. So they should have avoided that temptation like they originally decided they should. All right, so Melissa is wondering what is coming this weekend. And thank you for the likes and the subscribes. I appreciate it. What is coming this weekend for Melissa, please? Ooh, I like that. The World, the Three of Swords in the reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles tells me that there's something closing out for you. You might feel a little bit of a shift in your mindset or your emotions. This looks to me like someone who's deciding, I could be upset about something, or I could like just accept that it's over. And when you accept that something is over or that, a ship has sailed, there's progress, there's forward movement, there's abundance. So this is saying remain looking forward. Acknowledge that when you let go or accept that something is over, it's powerful. You wield power when you decide to not chase or obsess over something that is not meant for you. And so I see it's like, well, it's interesting actually. It's like I see this electricity. What's the word? Like the lights are getting real bright because you're not wasting it on something from your past. So I think you're getting good news this weekend. Or I think you're realizing, man, like 2 weeks ago, that would have bothered me. But now I don't care. That's cool. That's progress, right? So you're letting an ending not bother you. You're looking at it as, no, actually, that makes sense. And it also means that it opens up something else for me, right? I can pursue something else. So I like this. Acceptance. Yes, I agree. All right, so I'm gonna leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. And thank you for checking out my candles on Etsy. I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.